Hey guys, Snow here. On the air. I'm gonna do some creepypastas tonight. That's a good cookie. Yeah. Number one, dinner. Let's get it started. I was usually the type to stay on the front away from danger, and was the rebellious type. Usually a long-term friend can wait until pretty much anything, and Jim was the master when it came to that. I had been friends since we were too young, 2 years young. Now a decade has passed and we stuck by each other's side. Ever since then, we went on adventures just by every day. Sometimes they get us into trouble, but for the most part, Jim respected and understood me. My play it safe way of life. But for some reason, I could care less that day. It was as though something swayed me to doing something wrong. Just for the thrill of it. When I had a very dark and unfamiliar looking carnival that day. Seemed to have been the brightest day of the year. But ironically enough, from the carnival, there was nothing but gray skies. A genuine do not enter sign that ran across the entrance was being held up by a rusty chain. Tap the sign. What do you say we check it out? I asked. What do you say we check it out? I asked. As I turned towards Jim. Something seemed very eerie about that moment. Jim's face was awfully pale and he seemed to be sweating bullets. Hey man, we better not. I don't like the vibe I'm getting off this place, he said in an extremely frightened tone. To walk away. But something made me grab his arm and pull him back. Ah, come on. We haven't had a good adventure in a while. Where's your excitement at? It's not like anything bad's gonna happen. I'm here. I continued to try and persuade my reluctant friend with a very promising smile as it would take to me. After a while, he finally gave in, and we entered the shady carnival. It was unlike any entrance. The walls were lifted, dried up, bruises filled with an infinite amount of thorns that were impossible to break through. Jim just slightly followed without looking back as we began. Our business turned in. Jim and I lost our presence that we followed like robots. The suddenly began to grow darker with each turn. They were back. And by the time turns, it was on there. I had never smelled burning flesh, but I definitely smelled. Ooh, going to break right under. Step just a little harder. The temperature began to change as Jim and I stood. It got so intensely hot that we became very eager. We should turn around, Jim said in a frozen and shaky voice. Leaving the body at that very moment. A good idea, I agreed, but as we turned around, we know our path had been blocked by a wall of barely burned thorns that we couldn't even see the top of. But the walk further, I didn't think it was possible. But the small had grown so strong that without even thinking about it, I vomited. Due to the fact that I could taste the smell, suddenly a soft roar started escalating. Screams that shot a knife of terror through my heart, which made me take off running out of instinct. Without looking back, I kept running, hoping to whatever god that was out there. The gym was right behind me. I felt as though I had been running for hours until the smell had died down, as well as the horrible screams. I couldn't hear footsteps behind me, so I panicked and looked around for Jim. All that was behind me was that damn wall, mocking me again. I had no choice but to keep walking. I couldn't tell the time of day because the sky was a solid gray in all directions. As far as the eye could see, the leaves started to regain color. They were a healthy green. The atmosphere felt perfect besides the fact that he, dark as ever. The next turn led me to a merry-go-round. I couldn't really tell whether or not it was spinning until I looked at it for a while. Slowly but surely, the abnormal large ride was spinning. The size wasn't all the animals appeared sheep. They had a very sad and painful look to them, as though different body parts, but they all had one thing in common. So mainly in endless holes for eyes. Some of them were missing patches, if not all of them. Netted and filthy fur. Their sheep skin was rather dull and extremely dull looking. Some of them even had rotting flesh, and then I realized that these were once, if not still, alive animals. They seemed to be barely hanging on the ride by rusted poles, piercing their bodies with enormous scraps building up around the eggs. I noticed a new animal coming around the corner. It was a wolf. Its eyes hyper-realistic, such a captivating red color, I swear. It could have grabbed my soul right from my body if I stared long enough. Discolored flesh starting from its mouth. Sing was even pouring out of a hole in its neck, which gave me another urge to vomit. Had it not been for what I saw following the head, Jim was on the back of the wolf. His eyes mocked the wolf's, and its skin was of a normal pale color. It had a sort of gray and lifeless tint to it. Jim wore a slight smile that made me scream at the sight of it for some odd reason. By my outburst, it slowly turned, just its head towards me. If I didn't know Jim my whole life, I wouldn't have been able to recognize him. What are you? I asked in terror, hoping I didn't regret what had just came out of my mouth. What do you mean? I'm your longtime friend, his tone was. Mentorius, and his voice was abnormal, deep for a 12-year-old. His eyes seemed to be staring off deeply in another universe. Well, it's loads of fun. You can trust me, can't you? It's me, Jim. A sudden force take away over my body, and I walked over to Jim. Reaching his hand out, I tried to stop, but I couldn't. As I stepped on the platform, everything but the merry-go-round grew pitch black. I was indeed terrified, but I couldn't scream, I couldn't speak, and I couldn't even feel myself breathing. Yet horrifying look on his face as I walked. The pole was so that I turned my hands almost completely orange. The fur and skin of the sheep was the same burning flesh smile. The ride's speed began to increase once I was locked on the ride, and the familiar roar of a million screams started up again. The cries were so high pitched I could swear my ears were going to bleed any second. I couldn't move or let go of the ride. I couldn't cover my ears, mouth, or nose to keep those awful things from entering my body. It seemed as though we were about to. This light. speed and closed my eyes and screamed as loud as I could since I saw what I was capable of. Jim hadn't made any sort of movement or sound. The ride finally stopped, and so did the sound and smell. My eyes were still shut, and I had suddenly fallen to the ground. I gained the strength to open my eyes once again, and I saw that I was out of the labyrinth. I sat almost lifeless in the middle of the dirt road, right outside of it, for hours until I finally snapped out of whatever shock I was in and ran home faster than I ever ran before. I tried to show my parents. Yeah, they just gave me a very concerned look and pointed at the clock. Who's Jim? Sitting sleeping all day. Said in a very worried. But they believed me. It really happened. And I've been cursed by that damn labyrinth or carnival. What did it do to me? Are you kidding me? I've known Jim my whole life. You guys even grew up with his parents. I'll take you to his house right now. I screamed so loud that tears began to run down my face. They insisted I had a very realistic dream and left it at that. Something was very off about that moment. I didn't understand why my parents couldn't remember Jim. Bolted out of my house and straight to Jim's. His parents had no idea who I was and had never had a son named Jim. They had a 3-year-old daughter named Lily. I couldn't comprehend what exactly was going on or what I was feeling. I just knew that I was experiencing actually happened. I know that I wasn't making my lifelong friend up. I couldn't have been. I even still had the words, the wounds and rust stains on me, but no one else could see them. Jim, where did you go? My parents stopped listening to me. I tried to show them the carnival, but I was the only one that could see it. Not too soon after that, I seemed to be the only one that could see me as well. I tried to talk to my parents, but nothing happened. I stuck around to see if they were concerned that I wasn't around anymore. It was as though I had never existed. I had been banished from the family photos. No remembered either Jim nor I. I returned to the carnival once more. As I entered my new home, I placed a new "Do Not Enter" sign. Back up, the next person that comes across it will head its warning. I finally reached the merry-go-round again. There he was, Jim, still riding the long wolf, though. There was something different about him. He developed sheep-like features and looked as though he were rotting from the inside out. I looked into a small mirror on the ride and noticed I looked the same. Jim didn't speak to me. He didn't look at me. He didn't even move. I tried to talk to him, but he couldn't hear me. I tried to push him off the ride, but I just fell through him. Before I take my place on the ride, I'm waiting this and sending off on some balloons that gathered me by the entrance. Possible for this very purpose. If someone is indeed reading this, please do not enter. Number 2. Hello. The doorbell rings, and you get up from where you sit, staring stonily into space, ready to know who is at your door and why he is here. You open it, nodding numbly to the man. You make a note in your head that the man looks sneakily, but you assume that must be because he's the lawyer. You show him into your living room, dictating what needs to come. The man hands you a CD. He proceeds from his briefcase and sits what looks like a birdcage on your coffee table. You cannot see what is inside the cage, yet it is covered in a blanket of embroidered silk. The man sits as you put the disc into your stereo and presses play. You hear the sound of stressed breathing from the speakers as you take your seat. The lawyer hasn't said a word, but you know friend, the last breaths of your friend, you can hear something in the background behind your friends. It's as if someone or something was scratching at the door. You wonder if you're hearing things as the sound is barely audible. You look up as you hear her voice as if she was in the room with you, as if she was alive. The date is September the 1st of 2008. Her voice is sneaky. Every word she speaks is stuttered with fear. This is my last will and testament now. I don't have much time. They're almost here, so I just please the formalities and get on with what I have to say. This is the last day of my life, as you've probably already figured it out. This began with the death of my uncle. I had never known him very well. Only a few times at family reunions and Christmases, parties, but he had left me something on his will. I sit awkwardly through the reading of the document until at least my name was called. I collected a small box of knickknacks and covered a cage. On the cage was a note saying, "Please do not unveil the surprise until you are home." So I hurried home without taking the silk blanket off the cage. What was inside the box is of no consequence. But underneath the blanket, I warn you, do not take the blanket off until this report is sent. It's an old bird cage. Inside of this bird cage is a pellet. I was indeed surprised, but there were more shocks to come when I lifted the blanket. The bird's eyes were immediately fixed on me. Its bloody eyes shone wickedly upon seeing a new face. And it said painfully in a squeaky voice, "Hello." I stared back at it, and it repeated itself. "Hello." I dismissed as a cute tick. My uncle had taught it. I was very wrong. The next day when I took the blanket off the cage, I was not greeted with a hello. On the second day, the bird didn't talk at all. What it did do was breathe loudly, as if it was hyperventilating, or at least coughing someone who was terrified. On the third day, the bird did not speak, but made the sound of a grown man crying. I was very disturbed and covered the cage for the remainder of the day. The fourth day, in a voice not unlike my recently departed uncle, the bird cried, "Oh God, oh God." I thought the bird had learned it from listening to the television, and I reserved to never let it hear the television again. I didn't turn on the TV. Fifth day, when I uncovered the cage, the bird screamed, not a normal scream, mind you, and it was nothing I had ever turned on the television. It was the sound of a man screaming in terror and pain. It was, I knew, the scream my uncle gave when he was killed. When the bird screams again, it will be my scream as they tear me apart, for even now the bird is listening to me. It stares at me cloudily while I barricade myself in the kitchen. As your life depends on it, do not uncover the cage. Hesitantly uncovered the cage. The bird was quiet. Perhaps 10 minutes later, it's cocked its head to the side, as if it would heard something I could not. "They're coming," it whispered. "They're coming," over and over again. He repeated in a haunting voice, "They're coming." Today's the seventh day, and they're here just as the bird said. I can hear them scratching at the door. The noises are getting louder. They're getting soon, so I'm saying goodbye now. Take care of the bird. I couldn't think of anyone else to give it to. I'm sorry. You must take care of him till they come for you. You have 7 days. The track ended suddenly, and you look around you, startled. You must have been entranced by the disc, for the lawyer was gone. You hadn't noticed him leave. You stare at the covered cage and the coffee table and wonder if you had just heard on the CD was real or just embraced a hoax. Arresting comes from underneath the embroidered silk. Your curiosity begs you to see what's in the cage. You slowly raise up on the blanket. Hello. Number 3, and final creepypasta. 3 days ago. Actually, it's called 3 days. I was laying in bed. I couldn't sleep even though I had a school in the morning and a nose breaks the silence. A whisper I heard. A whisper! But I have no idea what it said. I got up on my eyebrows and look around in the darkness. I see raindrops starting to fall outside my window. The faint light of a car passing creates shadows inside my room. I hear the whisper again, this time hearing clearly. The words, the mirror, and I get up and walk over to the mirror on the way next to my desk. I flip my table lamp on to see the creature. It was about my height. Maybe a little taller, had no eyes, just black holes leading to an abyss of darkness. Its skin was black with various cuts over its body, making a black stream of blood down its skin. Its hands were scaled with long blood-stained claws and smiles at me, revealing sharp yellow teeth. It raises its head and scratches a message in the glass. You will lose it all. I quickly jumped back. I wanted to yell to call my parents to come in and look at the creature. But I was too scared to do anything. I looked at the creature. I think the creature knew I was scared because it throws its hand back as if it was laughing. But there wasn't a single sound. I could feel my body shaking in terror. I covered my head and said to myself, just to leave me alone. At least 5 minutes passed before I looked up at the mirror. I saw my reflection in the mirror. I was pale as a ghost. My blue eyes were watering and my arms were so tense you could see the veins popping out. I eventually turned the light off and got back into bed trying to pass it off. An illusion due to exhaustion. 2 days ago, I wake up after a nightmare about that creature. I stared at my wall for a while and eventually got the courage to walk over to my mirror. I stared at myself. Eventually, my mother walked in and snapped me out of my daze. I quickly got ready and went to school. During my lunch period, I texted my girlfriend telling her about it last night. She didn't believe me and said it was just a night. I went home and set my backpack in my bed. I got on my computer to search for anything on the creature I saw. But in an instant, a message popped up before I could search anything. The screen name was yourself. There was no picture. The message read, no one will believe you. There is nothing you can do. I blinked. I started typing a message in the box. Why are you doing this to me? I enjoy toying with humans. It makes me laugh seeing you watch as you destroy your own life. I was stunned. What do you mean? You will see after this. The person went offline. I closed my laptop, contemplating what the hell just happened. I tried to find some reasoning behind what just happened. The rational side of me said that it was someone pulling a prank on me. But I knew that couldn't possibly be true. The only person who knew about my situation was my girlfriend. And I knew that she wouldn't do something like that. I ran downstairs, go outside, and climb my favorite tree as this would eventually help me clear my head. I eventually end up falling asleep in that very tree. I wake up to the sound of scratching. I rub my eyes and find that there is a word under my fingernails. I looked down and found a message on the bench. I was sitting on the window. I looked into the various windows of my house to find inside my window was something that looked a hell of a lot like me. Much like the dip, and I immediately noticed that my hands were burned and my wrists were cut. I had sharp black nails. My eyes were sharp yellow, my clothes and hair were covered in ashes. I was smiling in a twisted, insane way. I was shocked for a moment. I just sit there staring at the beam inside of my window. I eventually climbed down from the tree and ran to the house. I burst through my door to find an empty room. I looked to my left into my mirror to see the creature laughing like a madman. I ran out of the room and grabbed the pistol my dad kept in his room. The gun at the mirror. The creature just laughed some more. Eventually, I just smashed the mirror with the butt of the gun. I shoved my laughter echo throughout the room. The laughter eventually turned to my own. I heard in my own voice this time. I felt myself slowly losing consciousness. The last image I remember seeing was the creature moving towards me yesterday. Ashes ripped my eyes. I found my hands burned and my nails shot with ashes under them. My wrist was recently cut. I looked around. It seemed as if I were the remain of a burned down house. I got up and dusted myself. Besides me was my father's pistol. I picked it up to find rather than being hot, it was cold as ice. I looked at my reflection in the barrel of the gun to see my eyes were yellow. I put the barrel of the gun in my pocket and found something else moving in my pocket. I reached inside and found a pocket of matches. 3 of the matches were missing. I threw them on the ground and started walking away. I eventually found my way to town. I found a newspaper and looked at the headlines. 3 houses burned down in the mysterious spots. I read wanted to find me. My girlfriends and my best friend's house were burned down. Everyone inside dead except for me said I was a missing person. I stared at the headlines for a while. Eventually, something inside out and I laughed. They were standing in the street laughing like a madman at the headline of people down in house spots. I crumpled up the paper and threw it on the ground. I'm still laughing if I found my house on the way down. Waved back to the remains of my house and climbed a tree. I just sat there the rest of the day, staring at the remains of my house, present day. I sat on the rooftop of my school. It's pretty early in the morning, so no one is around. I laugh as I think about the shit that's happened to my parents are dead. My best friend's dead, and my girlfriend is dead, all by my own actions. I have nothing but the clothes on my back. I stop laughing and start to cry. Eventually, I remember the words my mom told me whenever I was sad or depressed. Sing a song that best describes the situation you're in. Always help me. So in between songs, I started to sing part of the song. My legs are dangling off the edge. My stomach full of pills and work again. I put a bullet in my head and I'm gone, 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 gone.